Advent candles, we are celebrating our second week of Advent in our liturgical calendar. For those of us who were here last week, we received an explanation of this liturgical season. Today, we hear from a very special character in the scriptures. Before I dive into that, I want to tell you a story that happened to me while I was in formation. I was invited to go down to the Dominican Republic, to our sister diocese of San Juan de la Maguana, to bring some talks about conflict resolution between communities. We met with their leaders and just some catechesis and support for them. I was real excited about going down there. Didn't know what to expect. There wasn't much. It's not like you can find this in a tourist guide. It's just off the beaten path. We get to the capital city of the Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo, and I asked Father Ruz, who picked us up at the airport, how long our ride would be to the mountains where the diocese is. He tells me about 3 hours. I pulled out my phone, I looked up the location. Didn't seem like it would take us 3 hours to get there. At best, I would think an hour. But anyhow, he knew better. He had been there 7 years. We started driving out, wide road. I think it was a toll road at first. Then it narrowed down, but it was still paved. There were still bridges. We were still going at a great pace. About an hour into it, we reached a town. And I looked at my map, and we're about 15 miles away. And I figured Father Ruz is losing it because we're 15 miles away. We should be there in about 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops. As soon as we passed that town, the road was a disaster. There was holes, it was narrow, there was places where only one car can go through, the other one would have to wait. Only 4x4s can get through those roads, or mules, or horses. No wonder it was going to take us 2 hours to get to the mountain. So I asked Father Ruz, how come the road is so nicely developed, so nicely paved, all the way up to this town, and then it's like nobody cares? Father Ruz tells me, well, the mother of the president of the Dominican Republic lives in that town. That's how come they paved it just to as far as the president would go. From there on, they don't care. They left it halfway. Well, that's what we're doing during Advent, reflecting in our lives. How far have we paved that road into our hearts so that Jesus can come and meet us? During Lent, we're looking for him. We're doing all kinds of devotions, we're praying, we're going through the scriptures, we're looking for God. During Advent, the joyous part is that he's looking for us. He's going to come and visit us. He's going to come and dwell in our hearts, in our families, in our jobs, in our schools. But is the road ready for him? Have we paved that road so that he has a smooth travel, quick travel into our hearts, where we yearn to have him? Baruch tells us in the very first paragraph, very first sentence, stop being miserable. Are we miserable? Do we really have that joy of having Jesus in our hearts? If we don't, if we're not, if we still have a void, well, he's coming. He's coming on Christmas. Let us prepare the way. Let us pave that road so he can get there. The character that I was talking about at the beginning, that interesting character, is John the Baptist. We ought to listen to him. Normally when I'm not in the altar, when I'm visiting another parish or just sitting in the pews, hearing the homilies, I like rating them like you would rate movies. We have G-rated homilies, nice and smooth, no sparks. You can probably snooze through it, be okay. PG, there's a little something there catching your attention, a little movement in your heart, but just enough to make you feel good. And then there's the R rating, the one that really hits the spot, the one that really makes me feel uncomfortable. The one that really is asking me for a change. Well, if John the Baptist was here preaching, I would rate him X. He got his head cut off for preaching. So today, this week, is one week where I can get to go a little further and be in your face and challenge you the way John the Baptist did to the people of the Jordan during his time, preparing the way for Christ. Look into your hearts. How much sin is there? There's no such thing as a little sin or a big sin. Like we said, there's no such thing as a small leak or a big leak. There's sin, sin, sin. How much sin is in your heart? And what are you willing to do about it to prepare the road? Tuesday evening, 7 o'clock. I like to see this church filled to the top, to the rafters, lining up to go to confession. We will have that rare opportunity of coming together as a community to prepare the way. We're not preparing for Christmas. That's what we do as far as putting up the lights and setting up the manger. That's preparing for Christmas. When we prepare our hearts, we're preparing for Jesus. Not just another birthday. We're preparing for Him coming to dwell in our hearts. Let us pave the way. Let's not be ashamed to come to confession. We weren't ashamed when we were sinning. Why should we be ashamed to come to confession? Let's take advantage of that opportunity that our church gives us, so that we won't be miserable, like Baruch said, so that we can feel that joy of having Jesus in our lives for the rest of our lives. Let this Christmas not be the same as every other Christmas that comes and goes, comes and goes. We don't know the time or the place when we will be called to meet Jesus. Therefore, let us prepare that way, so that when we do come into His presence, we are prepared.